And may the Force be with you as St. Albert fan celebrates the 30th anniversary of Star Wars.
Now from Global Edmonton, the early news with Linda Steele.
Good afternoon. It's a very big day for Star Wars fans. Today marks the 30th anniversary of the original film's release, and one St. Albert fan has definitely used the Force to show his appreciation. Shane Jones has his story.
Not too long ago, in a townhouse not too far away, David Coe began collecting memorabilia from his favorite movie series, the Star Wars saga.
Star Wars is a pretty important part in my life. I watched a lot of science fiction when I was a kid, and when my dad took me to see Star Wars back in 1977, in the opening scene where you have this little ship driving by and then you have this huge super Star Destroyer, I was just kind of blown away by it.
But it's only been this decade that David used the Force to begin what the 39-year-old now calls his destiny.
I didn't really start collecting until about 2003, and I figured I've spent about $50,000 to $60,000. The higher end stuff you usually kind of order online through the companies such as Master Replicas, Sideshow, Gentle Giant, or eBay is a really good source to find all this stuff. Here too, game mode. Dance program.
David's pride and joy is his custom-built, radio-controlled, full-size replica of R2-D2. The droid cost a ton of galactic credits, so much he hasn't even told his parents the price tag.
Yeah, I spent quite a few dollars. I actually refinanced my house with him. And not too many people have an R2, actually.
While R2 is on the good side, David actually prefers the evil Empire.
One of the cool things that was about Star Wars is I find that they had really cool costumes, and as a kid I wanted to be a stormtrooper.
David has stormtrooper outfits, but it's his $4,000 Darth Vader getup that attracts the most attention.
Well, Darth Vader is probably around 6'6", and when I got this costume, I modified him because his robe is actually supposed to be dragging on the ground, and he's a lot taller. But when I put this costume on, it's a perfect fit for me.
And he has all the props as well. David is watching Star Wars again to celebrate the 30th anniversary and hopes others will too.
I just wished everybody to enjoy Star Wars, and may the Force be with you.
Always.
For Global News, this is Shane Jones reporting.
Wow. David figures he has about 1,500 Star Wars action figures, and he's seen the movie about 300 times. Nicholas off. Kevin O'Connell is live at Borden Park with a first look at the weather. Kevin, you a big Star Wars fan?
I used to be. You know, it's sort of faded on me, but I sure used to be when I was younger, when it first came out.
You don't have a costume in the basement, or you own R2-D2? No,
I don't.
And
no,
probably not too many people do.
No, I think if I refinanced the house to do that, I'd be in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, you'd be out in the backyard.
I'd be living in the garage.
Yeah.
Absolutely, I would be. So, Linda.
Todd go just yet. After the break, Todd takes a look back at one of the biggest blockbusters of all time, Star Wars, on its 30th anniversary. This was an historic day in Hollywood. 30 years ago today, Star Wars hit the theaters, and Todd, and no one could have predicted what a phenomenon this would have become.
I think we can all remember the first time we saw Star Wars.
Yeah.
Barhead Theater, Roxy Theater in Barhead for me. And when you look at the billions of dollars that the series and its toy empire would generate, hard to believe. It was a tough sell. Less than 3 dozen theaters agreed to pick up the movie upon its initial release. So.
Once upon a time, 30 years ago, in a galaxy far, far away, the summer blockbuster was born. This date, 1977, the first in the Star Wars saga that we now know as A New Hope, Star Wars Episode 4 was released, changing Hollywood and the movies forever. Star Wars creator and director George Lucas, who prior to the film's release was known mostly for the movie American Graffiti, is helping fans celebrate this week with a 5-day party in Los Angeles featuring several several generations of fans immersing themselves in all things Star Wars. The film opened in '77 on just 32 screens across North America, but the word spread quickly, and soon theaters were swarmed with lines of excited fans, many of whom would enjoy multiple viewings. By November, it had dethroned Jaws as box office champ, on its way to a growing take well into the billions. In fact, Star Wars merchandise alone accounts for an estimated $20 billion. George Lucas, ever the visionary, cut a deal with Fox Studios, who at the time poo-pooed merchandising to the extent that they allowed Lucas a 40% cut of all products in exchange for a reduced director's salary. And what boy or girl didn't covet a lightsaber of their very own? Many are still collectors today of the myriad Star Wars products. But what was it that drew so many so quickly into the Star Wars culture? It wasn't just the incredible special effects, and of those, there were many. In fact, $8 million of the even then modest budget of $11 million was spent on creating special effects that had never been imagined before. But even groundbreaking special effects can fail to make a film a cultural phenomenon. It's the universal journey taken by the heroes of the story that hit a raw nerve. Lucas spent 3 years refining the script and admits to borrowing from westerns, fairy tales, and legends, and most notably, Japanese director Akira Kurosawa's 1958 film, The Hidden Fortress. Star Wars freed our imaginations, showing us that aliens could take many forms, like those in the famous saloon scene. It gave us action with stormtroopers, Death Stars, the unthinkably evil Darth Vader, and unforgettable heroes like Han Solo. James Caan, Al Pacino, and Burt Reynolds turned down the role before it was given to Harrison Ford. The wise Obi-Wan Kenobi was the link to the past, as played by Sir Alec Guinness, who hated the role so much he begged to have his character killed in the first film. Luke Skywalker, Princess Leia, Chewbacca, and of course C-3PO and R2-D2 continue to delight 30 years after they thrilled us the first time, and the Star Wars saga continues to grow. In fact, sources reveal George Lucas is considering remastering all the Star Wars films for re-release in 3D. Fans can only hope the Force is still strong.
And here are a few other galactic facts about the Star Wars empire. 20th Century Fox wasn't happy with the title, but since no one could think of a better one, it stuck. It grossed $1.6 million in those 32 theaters in the opening weekend. Including its 1997 re-release, its worldwide gross to date is now $775 million, and that made Star Wars the #1 movie of all time until Titanic took the title in '97.
It's a classic, and we're out of time. Thanks for watching. Global National starts right now. We'll see you at 6.